Welcome back to the Driving Diary. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but here we are, back out on the mean streets of Jersey, driving home. And I just wanted to talk about the current situation with iDubbbz and Ethan Klein. So let's break down this drama a little bit. And there are a lot of facets because basically I hate creator clash, and I want to explain. But I got to start here. We got to start from the beginning. So iDubbbz was kind of like an OG, not the OG YouTube, but when YouTube kind of matured and was kind of like coming of age, there was like this golden era where like really edgy content creators were the ones who like saw the most success. People who do like social experiment pranks. And iDubbbz kind of made a better version of it, where what he would do is he would do kind of like dirty, edgy stuff. He would say the F slur, he would say the N word, and he operated under the ultimate free speech ethos that, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. So what basically this made him super successful, and he did this series called Content Cop. And Content Cop is where he would call out bad creators who were popular but disliked in the larger YouTube community for bad ethos or bad content. And people love this because he would make incisive, biting critiques and just like tear these people a new one. It was cathartic. They were well done. But then later on, he kind of pivoted. He tried to do sort of documentaries where he would like interview people. So he did one on Air Force Fatty. He did another one on Sam Hyde, which in a way kind of ruined his career. And then he kind of made this sort of pivot where he didn't want to be known as the edgy boy anymore. So he disowned his Content Cop content, unlisted, took down the videos, and wanted to be a new person. And basically, this was the sort of his transition to sort of wanting to become more of a left-leaning content creator and kind of become a part of, indirectly, BreadTube. Now, for those of you who don't know, BreadTube refers to the conquest of bread, which is a loose connection of left-leaning content creators, mainly video essayists, some streamers, that are fighting the great fight to institute socialism in the United States and the worldwide abroad. They're kind of like woke scolds. They're the heralds of woke culture, if you will. So he wanted to ingratiate himself with this crowd and kind of build this new audience and make new content that didn't hurt people while also appeasing his girlfriend, then turned wife, Anissa, who's kind of been referred to as the Yoko Ono of YouTube. She's kind of like a pick-me girl, kind of an alt girl who, went on OnlyFans, was a booby streamer, then started an OnlyFans, which caused a lot of people to call iDubbbz a cuck for wanting to date, for still being with her. In my personal ethos, I don't think, dating someone who has nude photos of them makes you a cuck. I think that's like, people are getting to pay for the fantasy I get to enjoy every day. But that's just my personal view. But a lot of people saw this as a betrayal. But amidst this, growing pains, there was someone who was always there, his buddy, who'd also been on a similar journey, Ethan Klein, who kind of like made light anti-SJW content and then pivoted to trying to be more of a progressive form of good. And there's a very famous quote that Jordan Peterson said to Ethan Klein. He said that, I liked you, I thought I appreciated you, but the new audience you have, they will tear you up at the moment once you make the slightest transgression, and they will eat you alive. And Ethan has been learning that lesson the hard way, because Ethan started a podcast with everyone's favorite socialist Zoomer streamer, Hasan Piker. Now, Hasan is much more left than Ethan ever could be. Ethan is like a light progressive, light sock dem, while, Hasan is a full-blown socialist, communist, ML Marxist who will play at being a little bit more moderate in his positions depending on his audience. You know, he'll code switch depending on who he's talking to, whether or not they're a true believer or, you know, it's John Lovitz and the Pod Save America podcast. That is what makes Hasan a very effective clout chaser. And then we got into the Israel-Palestine conflict, which put them on two completely different lines. So Ethan, agreed with just about everything that Hasan did, except for one thing, and that he didn't believe that Israel should be destroyed, and he wanted people on the left to condemn Hamas. Those were the two concessions that he wanted to have, considering he was a Jewish person who lived in Israel and had an Israeli wife. You'd think that wouldn't be too hard, but Hasan just would not budge. The people on October 7th deserved what they got. They're colonizers, etc. This is just repatriation for the endless humiliation and death, destruction caused heaped upon the Palestinians by the Israelis and the IDF. And Ethan, because he couldn't get this one basic human concession, it drove him crazy. And little by little, the podcast evolved and then eventually broke down, leading to his second major split. So, for the past 2.5 years, after the death of Leftovers, Ethan and Hasan have been never-ending drama. Ethan made a hit piece, a content nuke on Hasan, which damaged his reputation somewhat, not with the core faithful. They're always going to be, see him as the great hype for socialism and communism, despite the fact that he's a millionaire who lives in a, LA mansion, and lives a very privileged lifestyle that would not be afforded under the system he believes should be instituted. But that's never hurt him before. So what was I thinking? So this divide has forced Ethan to kind of go at Hasan in a sort of uphill battle that he hasn't quite been winning. He hasn't been able to get that death rattle, but little by little things have been escalating more and more against Ethan. So recently there was this incident where Child Protective Services was called. It's not known who called Child Protective Services, but the going theory is that it was someone in the Hasan leftist camp of streamers and personality creators who instigated someone to do it and champion his kids being taken away from him. And as any good parent, this made him go biblical, completely furious rage. So he called out his old buddy iDubbbz, why can't you condemn, you're hanging out with all these people, you're hanging out with all these personalities, why can't you just do me a solid and call them out for supporting this? And iDubbbz would not do this. He just remained remote. Ian was furious. But then iDubbbz, in his infinite wisdom, decides to put out, bring back Content Cop. Even though Content Cop was so terrible, it was never meant to be seen again. It was too awful for the likes of our mortal plane. He brings it back. Content Cop is back, baby. Yeah. And it's on his buddy Ethan. Now, a lot of people thought this wouldn't be possible because one of Ethan's employees who works with him on the podcast is fighting in an event iDubbbz is running called Creator Clash. But he still did it, and everyone despises the Content Cop. They think it's the most cringy, awful pieces of content that has been put out on the internet. But, the people who loved it, it was like their leftist Avengers. All these pro-Palestinian voices are getting together to shit on Ethan. Oh, my God. But it puts the Creator Clash in a very precarious position, a really bad position, because I got a rant here. Creator Clash is one of the stupidest, dumbest things that I think has ever been put on the face of the earth. It's kind of like, let's take the degeneracy of celebrity boxing, but let's make it about, YouTube content creators and have them box each other. But let's not have any beef. Let's not have any negative stuff. This is all going to be wholesome Chungus Rocky moments, which is so fucking stupid. Like, why are you trying to do influencer boxing, which is basically just all based on degeneracy and exploitation? Like, boxing is not a noble sport. It is a sport that is basically like gladiator for the modern era, where the poor and the destitute are forced to risk life and limb and permanent brain injury at the hopes of getting up a ladder and a racket. And maybe they become Mike Tyson or Vander Holyfield. But, there was an episode of Star Trek where they talked about boxing and how in the hypothetical future, utopian communist future of Star Trek, that boxing is outlawed because it is just seen to be too barbaric to exist. So I don't know why a bunch of Fortnite people, the odd one is out, leftist commentary, Froggy Tonic or Frog Bait or whatever, this non-binary woman. Like, why do we want to see them fight? Why do we want to see them box? Why do we want to see them LARP as blue-collar people who have no other forms of economic upwards mobility, just for charity? You can run charity for a live stream. You could do a wrestling match. You could do baseball. You could do a soccer game. You could do a football game. You could do all kinds of things that are a lot less damaging and life-threatening than fucking boxing. But in his infinite wisdom, iDubbbz still wants to do the fucking boxing. I don't know why. It does not make any sense. And you know what makes it even more embarrassing is the fact that in his second creator clash, he ran it so fucking poorly that he lost $250,000. All the people who thought that they were supporting charity were just supporting training and running this stupid fucking event that lost money. He lost money because he did such a poor job of running it through stupid drama that he created because he thought he could have a wholesome Chungus OnlyFans boxing match, which, lo and behold, people who like influencer boxing don't give a shit about wholesome Chungus boxing. There was no audience. There was no Palestinian supporters that want to give money to the fucking cancer charity because they care so much about wholesome Chungus boxing. It's a non-existent audience. And I think he's going to learn that the hard way in Creator Clash 3, that, putting his eggs in the Hassan Piker basket, you're not going to get these, bread-tube people to come to your charity event. And you shouldn't even be doing a boxing charity event. Why are you trying to do this semi-degenerate thing and trying to spin it as having a good cause? Because it's not a good cause. It's all about your stupid fucking ego. It's not about the kids. There's infinite better ways to make money for the kids. Instead, he had to do a live stream to actually get money for the charity because he fucked up so much. And honestly, after that, I think the event should be dead and buried, and he should not be allowed to do it. And he should continue to try and make shitty video essays, try and appeal to the bread-tube communist audience. But he's just the most disingenuous piece of shit. I think probably one of the worst things in the video he made trying to hit on Ethan was, it opens up with this skit where it's wake up, Ethan, all your nightmares are here, all the people you hate, and they're all giving him the finger. And in the end, he says that, I'm going to have everyone say a nice thing about Ethan to show that, I believe you can get over this. And it was the most disingenuous bullshit I have ever seen. Everyone deserves to have their careers blasted off the face of the planet for that awful hack job. It was just abysmal. It was the worst I've ever seen. But I just hate the idea of Creator Clash. I just think that, you can't do a boxing event if there's no drama. I don't give a shit about how YouTube animators or food personalities fighting each other. Oh my God, LAB's going to be able to do it. This is just stupid. If you did wrestling and you have some like play theatrics, sure. But the fact that this is like a real boxing match has no value for anyone who would be interested in boxing. I really hope this eventually crashes Ethan's, his channel. I hope he realizes that like he's terrible at making political content, and the kind of audience he wants to appeal towards is not going to be around for him because he's not very good at it. Unless he wants to, get under the wise auspices of the FD Signifier or Lindsay Ellis or ContraPoints. But I don't think he's gonna get the tutelage about upping his production values and editing game to be on that high level of breadtuber. I kind of hope the worst for him. It's funny. What all seemed to put him on this path is a controversial alt-right, probably not neo-Nazi comedian Sam Hyde. He thought he could get a one-up on him by doing a documentary on him and showing how much he's fallen and how much of a failure he is. But Sam Hyde and Bugs Bunny move completely fucked him over. It played into the bit, hired a shitty dentist's office and had like a fake drug girlfriend, all for the purpose of just fooling iDubbbz and making him, just completely screw himself over. And from that on, he's been able to rise, been able to build his fish tank empire and gain new prominence, and iDubbbz has just kind of been flailing around. I would love to see what his financial balance is, because I just think it's all going to collapse. I feel like it's going to fall apart. There's no way it can be anything good. So anyway, that's why I think Creator Clash is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard of. And I hope if you haven't heard about this drama, you enjoyed it from my perspective. And let me know what you think in the comments. And hopefully I'll try and do more of these as I drive around. It's funny. It's like I almost destroyed my microphone, which is the reason why I haven't posted in a while. And then I also get lazy because, I just want to watch YouTube videos while I'm driving home. So, but I hope you enjoy this. And, let me know what you think. And have a good one.